Hello and welcome, beautiful souls, to my channel, Light of Shaya. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to those of you who are new. I hope you enjoy the content, and for those of you who are returning, I simply want to say thank you so much for all of your support. I appreciate every single one of you for being here. So today I'm going to be doing a pick a card reading, another message from Spirit. This particular message is going to be important for you guys because it's going to be, the question is essentially, how can you connect with the divine more intimately? So this is going to be a reading regarding how it is that you can overcome obstacles when it comes to like intuition, how you can kind of tap in more closely with the divine and really start to align yourself more with your soul's mission, your connection with the divine, and all those beautiful, beautiful things, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here with ringing this crystal singing bowl associated with the crown chakra. If you guys don't want to, if you'd like to skip this, essentially, there will be timestamps down below, although I would like to encourage you to stick around because it kind of helps set the mood. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to take a deep breath here if you guys want to take a deep breath along with me. Alrighty, and let's get started. Absolutely beautiful. All right, definitely feeling those high vibes now, so I'm going to go ahead and stick that clip here with the pile selection, and I'll see you guys at your corresponding piles. Alrighty, hello and welcome, beautiful souls, to your pile selection. So for pile 1, we have this beautiful geode here. Pile 2, we have this lovely piece of bumblebee jasper. In pile 3, we have this rose quartz obelisk, this tiny little rose quartz obelisk. So feel free to take a moment here to meditate on your stacks. Choose whatever pile resonates with you most. Of course, there may be several different messages for you in different piles, so if you're drawn to more than one pile, trust your intuition when it comes to that as well. And I will see you guys at your corresponding piles. Hello and welcome, pile 1. If you chose this lovely geode piece with all these lovely little sparklies in it, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and get started here, see how it is that, what the message from Spirit is and how you could more closely connect with the divine. So from the Animal Spirit Oracle cards here, we have Seahorse Spirit, Watch and Wait. From the Wild Unknown Tarot, we have the Four of Cups, the Six of Pentacles. I believe this is the Knight of Cups, the Son of Cups. The Father of Wands, or the King of Wands. We have, from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle cards here, we have the Elephant. We have the Snake. We have the Whale, and from the, I believe it's called the Murder of Crows Tarot, we have here the King of Cups. So this is something to kind of keep an eye out for. So, let's see, pile 1. Alrighty, pile 1. So we have the Seahorse Spirit starting off the reading. We have Watch and Wait. So one of the things that is going to be quite unfortunate about this journey for you guys is a lesson in patience. And I know that's not necessarily the happiest thing to hear, of course, at times, but patience is key with your connection with the divine, because there seems to be something here about learning how to be patient with, you're likely receiving different signs, different cues about how the divine works for you, because everybody's connection is very personal when it comes to Spirit, God, the divine, however you refer to your higher power. So I do sense a sense of dissatisfaction from you guys with the Four of Cups. There's a sense of wanting more. There's a sense of feeling maybe even a little disconnected from things. With the Six of Pentacles here, usually this speaks of balance and equal give and take, but this particular deck reminds me a little bit of like, I don't know why I'm getting like coffee beans, because coffee beans or their coffee cherries they remind me a little bit of coffee cherries for whatever reason. And there's this sense of like waiting for the results. Pile 1, you guys are going through some sort of growth process when it comes to connecting with the divine. There's something about growth here that is very important. There's something very deep seated inside of you. The seeds have already been planted, but you likely haven't been seeing them, and there's a sense of dissatisfaction here. And so Spirit is telling you to simply wait. The answers are soon to be clear for you. Or at the very least, you're going to be experiencing different signs that'll get you into a place of more alignment with the divine. So we have the Son of Cups following this. And there's something about the heart space here. I'm getting definitely a sense of the heart space with this particular card. Following your heart. What is your heart calling you to do? What is it leading you? In what direction is your heart leading you? Remember that when it comes to our connection with the divine, it's an internal process. It's an internal experience. And so there's this sense of needing to connect more with your emotions, likely, with the Son of Cups, and leading with that. Taking action in your life from a heart-centered place is going to help create this beautiful dynamic in your life of being able to connect more closely with the divine. There's something in the depths of your heart that needs to come out. I'm sensing that. I'm seeing a lot of like emergence here. Emergence. I don't know why the word emergence is coming. It's like maybe certain emotions that you've had have been repressed, and you may be receiving signs, maybe in dreams or in waking life, regarding this. I don't know why I'm seeing the Six of Pentacles as 6 different signs that maybe you've been seeing in regards to this. Yeah, there's something, this, the mouse isn't exactly, it's not, there shouldn't be any judgment towards different kinds of creature. No creature is better than one or the other. There's no true hierarchy in the eyes of the divine. They're all beautiful and magnificent, There's a sense of oneness with all, right? So when we look at animals and see them as lesser than, it's actually incorrect, because they're beautiful creatures created by the divine, right? They went through a whole process of evolution to get to where they're at, and their sense of consciousness is just as important as yours. However, because we've been gifted with a higher level of consciousness, we've been gifted with self-awareness, this actually empowers us to connect with the divine with will. Creatures don't have that potential. They don't have that level of self-awareness that we do. And there's something here about the heart space. Maybe some of you are needing this heart awakening here. And now I'm noticing here we have 2 snakes here, right? We have the snake from the spirit animal, or the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal Oracle cards, and from the tarot here, the Father of Wands, the King of Wands. The King of Wands is a visionary. The King of Wands is a visionary, somebody who takes action in life from passion. It's really interesting because we have the Son of Cups, which is, all about the heart space. And the King of Wands is about passion, being a visionary. And the snake typically resembles healing, a healing journey, right? There's something about healing that's absolutely necessary here. And note how the snake is closed off. It's like biting itself. It's almost like you're in some sort of never-ending cycle, or it feels like there's a never-ending cycle. It's like the treasure's inside of you, Pile 1. That's what I'm seeing, because this is the flower of life, I believe, in the center, and the treasure is inside of you. It's inside of your heart. It has been. And with the elephant card here, this is ancestral and nature. I'm getting the sense, it's like the message is like really rushing through me now, where there's a sense of, you need to remember who you are, Pile 1. You need to remember, there's a deep sense of remembrance here. And it's inside of you. It's inside of you that you. This is really funny, because I feel like, Pile 1, some of you may have been looking externally for some form of validation of your connection with the divine. But the truth is, as I said before, there was something massive coming through about it's an internal experience first. So there's this sense of needing to connect with yourself, because you're like this whale. You're actually very incredibly wise. These 2, right? These are the biggest mammals on the planet, right? At least from my knowledge, that currently exist, are whales and elephants. Elephants being the land version, and whales, like the blue whale, being the sea, the marine version, right? You are powerful beyond measure, Pile 1, and I think this is where the issue is. You're not recognizing your connection with divinity, because it seems that you're going through some sort of karmic cycle of remembering. There's a great deal of remembrance. I'm seeing these coils, right? This coil here with the Father of Wands. We have this coil here with this snake figure as well. And there's this sense of just like unfurling. See how this, I feel like this sapling or this tree is like unfurling. I'm not sure if you can kind of see the motion that I'm talking about there, but there's a great unfurling happening within you, this unfurling coming from your depths, from your soul. Your soul is actually trying to get you into alignment, into the perfect place in order for you to experience it. And we have this lightning strike here. There may be a moment of absolute clarity, of inspiration that comes to you at some point. And here's that remembrance again. With this fire here, you see that like fire at the bottom there that the elephant is kind of like nurturing and holding? It's like the flame within. And then, interestingly enough, there's a red bead here, which reminds me of these red beads here, the pentacles. I'm not sure if you could see the correspondence there, those colors. And that color is in the third eye, right, of the elephant. So this is a remembrance for you guys. Pile 1, you need to remember who you are. And you're in the process of learning that right now. That's why this watch and wait energy is here. Watch and wait. There's going to be something coming for you, Pile 1, that is going to help emerge. I can't help but notice how, I don't know why I'm getting the sense of, I kept saying emergence, right? There's something suppressed inside of you. There's like a suppression going on here. And I don't know why I'm getting the sense of this whale bursting through this circular flower of life that is created within the snake. There's something about ancestral patterns here, maybe some conditioning that you guys have experienced in life that has kept things in the dark. And note how, interestingly enough, in this particular card, even though the moon is present, there's illumination at the top. But there's like something about being, you see how that darkness is underneath? There's like darkness here, and there's emergence, right? Look at the emergence here, the whale surfacing, right, into the light. And then the light is emerging from within you. Because I'm getting the sense this is you here. Your internal, this is your soul. The flower of life is your soul, like one of the seeds, right? And I'm getting, remember how I was talking about cherries and coffee beans? These are like seeds that have been planted, and they're coming up. And you may be having very insightful dreams. There's a sense of inspiration. There's a sense of like an inner calling that you have. And this is why you're being called to watch and wait. There's a sense of understanding that you're coming into balance. You're coming into balance, Pile 1. And now something that you need to watch out for is this King of Cups. I mean, we do have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius on the board, and with the King of Cups here we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Those signs may mean something to you. But there's the King of Cups leads with this heart. He's very fully aware of where his heart is leading him. Remember how I was saying something about leading with your heart with the Son of Cups? But the Son of Cups is the Knight. So there's something about evolving your emotions. There's something about an evolution in your emotions, because maybe you haven't tapped into the depths of your emotions. You haven't truly delved deeply enough to see what is going on beneath the surface. And some of you may have been having sleepless nights or having dreams where your subconscious is trying to push these back out. There's, an elephant never forgets. And it's like your soul has been trying to tell you, hey, so an elephant never forgets, but your conscious mind, your ego, has forgotten who you are. And so with this King of Cups here, it's about leading with your heart and understanding yourself, right? There's a lot of darkness in the subconscious. Some of you may need to heal, as I was saying. There may be certain wounds that you haven't been wanting to take a look at, and there's a need for you to heal these wounds in order for this unfurling to happen, this wave of emotion to come out of you. And I'm getting the sense that when you guys experience this, there may be a lot of tears. There may be, I'm getting a sense of just like I see somebody like crying very deeply. And it's not from it's from a place of sadness initially, but then after the tears are cleared, it's like emerged. I've come through this. I've experienced it, and I see now. And I'm this King of Cups now. You're the King of Cups. You're no longer this Knight of Cups. You're the King of Cups now. Whoa, that's a really interesting message. I felt like there was one other thing I had to say to you, Pile 1, and I can't seem to remember it now. Maybe it wasn't meant to come out yet. Lead with your heart, Pile 1. That's a big thing. Lead with your heart. What is your heart trying to tell you? And then the answers will come. Yeah, I guess that message wasn't meant to come out at that moment in time. There's something about this probably is a very internal process for you. Of course, all of our spiritual journeys are very internal. So this is something you need to come to realization. And I'm only here to help guide you through that. So if your heart's been calling you in a certain direction, pile one, lead with that. There is a need for some sort of self-exploration here, but being very patient. Be very patient with yourself, pile one. So that's how you can basically really start to connect with the divine. You need to explore yourself first and your depths. Because by exploring yourself, you're also exploring the divine. So Pile 1, if this resonated with you, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'm very curious to hear about your guys' journey. You know, my channel's always been very attuned to the spiritual path. It's why I'm here, essentially, to help others. And of course, through teaching, I teach myself as well. So if you enjoyed this content, please do hit that like and subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. And as always, I am sending you so much love and so much light. Take care. Hello and welcome, Pile 2. If you chose this lovely piece of Bumblebee Jasper, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and see how it is you can further deepen your connection with the divine. So from the Animal Spirit Oracle cards, we have number 40, Mouse Spirit, tend to small things. We have here the Eight of Swords from the Wild Unknown Tarot. We have the Mother of Cups, or the Queen of Cups. We have the Two of Swords, the Five of Pentacles. We have, from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle cards, we have the Peacock. We have Cobra, and whew, I got spiritual chills before I started this pile, and this makes a whole lot of sense. We have Phoenix. It's a very powerful card here. And from the Murder of Crows Tarot, we have the High Priestess. This is basically something to keep an eye out for in order to help connect your self to your intuition or to the divine, essentially. Let's see here. Already Pile 2. So the first card starting the reading here is the Mouse Spirit. Tend to the small things, right? So if you're looking to connect yourself with the divine, interestingly enough, the mouse spirit tends to be very meticulous. You know, they're always scurrying about trying to gather things, gather food, gather scraps for their little nests, you know, gnawing at things and trying to basically perfect everything. Everything needs to be perfect, right? And so maybe some of you struggle with perfectionism. That might be something that you struggle with. And so there is a need here for you to release perfectionism if that's something that you are struggling with. You have to remember that even if you are a very powerful soul, which I am seeing that you are here with the cards depicted, there is a need for you to understand that even though you are a powerful soul, you are human. And that means that we make mistakes in life. So if you're the kind of person who beats themselves up for the mistakes that you make, maybe even have some regrets around actions you've taken in the past, it's time for you to forgive yourself, because this is a part of being a soul on earth. It's about clearing out karma, learning, right? The divine is always in a state of self-exploration. That is the divine's, not purpose, but it's the way of the divine exploring itself, allows itself to know what it is and what it is not, right? And this is why we have a dual plane of like the whole good versus evil kind of thing, the varying shades of gray. And in the end, spirit knows that its essence is that of love and light. And so this is why we all strive towards raising our vibration to become more aligned with this, with source, with love, essentially. Because, you know, in the Bible it says God is love, and essentially that's what comes through here. And it's about remembering this, right? So when we experience pain, we know what the divine is not. And this is a part of the exploration process. I felt the need to say this. So if you feel that whole sense of perfectionism, it's okay to mess up sometimes. That's kind of part of the journey, right? Now, it's really interesting here because this is also another card that's kind of giving me the sense of like, it's time to ground yourself, Pile 2. Some of you are so spiritual that you're kind of like in this like cosmic soup, if you will, trying to kind of like swim your way through it. And it's really interesting because I'm seeing that the flapping of the wings that I'm doing here, kind of this feeling with this Mother of Cups. You see how she's doing that kind of gesture that I was kind of doing? It's like this, and note how, interestingly enough, she is in the sense of cosmic soup because there's all these stars around her. I don't know if you guys can see the stars in the air there, in that darkness that she's in. It's almost like you're swimming through the cosmos, and there's a need for grounding yourself. Now, what's really interesting here is that there's a lot, you guys may have a lot of air in your chart. That could be a possibility. The only sign that we have here on the board is that of the sign of Pisces here with the High Priestess. Some associate her with Cancer as well, so you may have that very heavy in your chart. And those who are associated with the 12th house of Pisces, they're very psychic by nature. They have a very powerful connection with the divine, and I'm getting the sense that you already have this, Pile 2. And maybe you're just here for a bit of confirmation and basically trying to find ways to deepen this. And so one of the things that's really interesting is some people believe that striving for these spiritual gifts is a bad thing, but the divine would have never placed those gifts in your life if you weren't meant to explore them. So this is about self-exploration and understanding that it's not wrong for you to want more of this. I mean, why wouldn't we want to connect more deeply with the divine? It's source, it's love, it's an outpouring of infinite love. Why wouldn't we want to be in connection with that, right? So it's about accepting that it's okay for you to want these kind of things as well. I'm seeing here with the Eight of Swords, it's really interesting because I'm seeing this butterfly, in a sense, trying to come out of the cocoon here. And so there's this sense of you guys have some sort of mindset here, because the Eight of Swords speaks of mindsets. And I am reading this two ways, so there is this whole mindset that you need to clear out of your mind. There is a mindset here. And what's really interesting, it's almost like you're refusing to see the truth. You're holding on to a truth that is not a truth. If that makes sense. And that actually reminds me, so I remember reading a book, I don't know why I have to relate to this, but I remember reading a book by Tom Morris, who's a philosopher with a PhD, and he's also Catholic, interestingly enough, and a lot of philosophers tend to be atheist. And one of the things that he said, and this is going to sound kind of convoluted, but it's very true if you pay attention to it and you kind of mull it over, you can only know something that is true, but you can only know of something false that it is false. You can't know something that is false, essentially, right? You can't know something that is false. You can only know the truth. And here I'm seeing how the sword isn't upright. And upright, in the tarot, upright swords speak of clarity and truth. And it's quite interesting because it's almost like you're hanging on to this chrysalis here, this butterfly. This is your potential here. You're hanging on to this old paradigm. You see how that sword is sideways? There's an old paradigm you've been holding on to that no longer suits you. It's not part of your development process. And note how this butterfly is almost hiding from the truth, because all of those other swords are upright. And this card has a heavy relation here with the Phoenix, which I'll get into in a moment here. But there's a sense of needing to embrace different truths. You may be tapping into these truths and almost like, in a sense, blocking yourself off with this Two of Swords. And note how there's this drawing, and there's an all-seeing eye here. I see this all-seeing eye there. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. There's an all-seeing eye, and interestingly enough, I just so happened to put the High Priestess underneath the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords usually resembles, she's holding, in traditional Rider-Waite, she's holding these two swords, crossing her chest. Her emotions are behind her. It's the sea, metaphorically speaking, and she's blindfolded. It's almost like there's this truth of your immensity that you're not wanting to see, because this is you tapping into consciousness here. This is source. Followed by here, the Five of Pentacles. And some of you are like this flower, this wilting energy. There's like a wilting energy because maybe you feel you're not worthy of love. And I know that a lot of us consciously are like, oh no, that's not true. I love myself, right? But do you believe it deep down? And so it's a need for you to look inside of yourself. For example, are you attributing your value to external things? Are you attributing your value to the physical things that you have in life? Because your value is inherently infinite, because you are in constant connection with the divine. And it's about understanding this mindset to get yourself into a place of abundance. Abundance comes spiritually first. You need to feel the abundance of the universe. The universe is infinite. There is no lack. If the universe is infinite, there's no such thing as not enough stuff to go around. And so if you have been attributing your divinity, your self-worth to these pentacles here, this isn't you. It's not you. You're more than this. And so I'm getting the sense here of you needing to ground yourself more. Ground yourself, because you've created this mentality, and I'm getting the sense here, Pile 2, I'm feeling some resistance from some of you out there because you're not seeing it, or it's almost like you don't want to see it because you're scared. which is totally natural, and I understand that. But so we have the Five of Pentacles, right? This lack of self-worth, and I feel like this has something to do attributing to lack mentality from different things. Like, for example, I'm noticing the rose here. If you feel abandoned, or if you feel like you don't have enough love in your life, this is simply not true. You are never alone. And we have here, following this card, the Peacock Spirit. And the Peacock Spirit doesn't know it's beautiful in physically, if that makes sense. Its beauty is internal. It's not external, right? There's this whole external thing going on here. Very similar to pile 1, but very different message. Your experience with the divine is internal first, right? And the Queen of Cups is a very spiritual queen, because she's very attuned to her emotions, the love that she feels, and she's very intuitive. And so with this Peacock Spirit, it's about embracing your shine. It's about letting it shine, letting your vibrance, you need to radiate this beauty that you have inside of you. It's in you, pile 2. You have this beautiful, your divine nature, by nature, is immense and beautiful, pile 2. You are a beautiful human being. You're a beautiful soul, and it's about accepting and embracing that truly deep down, and knowing your value and your worth, and not attributing it to the external. And so now we have this very beautiful Cobra energy, and the Cobra speaks of patience. It also speaks of being the inner teacher, having this inner wisdom, and being a mentor for yourself and for others. And so it's a sense of when you start to recognize the divinity in yourself, and you start to recognize the divinity in other people, that is when certain things are going to start to become more apparent to you. And it's really interesting, because I'm being drawn to do this. I didn't do this for the other piles, but this card from the Good Tarot was eyeing me earlier, and I was like, why do I feel like this is important for this reading? And I'm seeing this here. You're some sort of teacher, a divine teacher for other people, and you need to step into this energy. And you need to understand that everybody that comes into your life, every situation that comes into your life, is a learning opportunity. And when we embrace that every single person has something to teach us, regardless of their appearance, their culture, where they come from, their upbringing, their attitude, their behaviors, they're all teachers for us, because they're all expressions of the divine. And so they are reflecting to you a lesson. That isn't to say, some people take the whole oh, if this person treats me this way, there's something wrong with me because they're reflecting something to me. That's not true all of the time. Maybe that's some of where the mentality is coming, where you believe that if people are bad to you, it's because on a subconscious level, or on a certain level, you feel like you're bad too, which is not true. As I said, we're all imperfect human beings, but these people come into our lives to teach us certain lessons. So if they trigger you, it's about aligning yourself and seeing I understand why this person has brought this into my life. So a lot of the times what ends up happening when somebody triggers us, it's an attack on our self-worth, and it's an ego-based reaction. So it's about noticing it, being aware of it, and seeing it for what it is, and saying instead, how can I teach myself to be more compassionate towards myself, and understand that this person isn't a reflection of me, but they are reflecting a lesson. Does that make sense? So now we have this incredibly potent, beautiful energy of the Phoenix. And remember how I was saying old paradigms need shifting here? There's a sense of rebirth happening with you, pile 2, and if you haven't stepped into this energy yet, you will be. Maybe you're already in it, and you're not even recognizing that the old sense of being, pile 2, is being burned to the ground. Everything, and this is typically a very uncomfortable process, because when the ego resists change. And so this is, in a sense, I'm getting kind of like a form of ego death, where a former version of yourself no longer serves the version that you are now, and you're becoming this beautiful, empowered person. And your connection with divinity is going to, I wanted to say, increase tenfold. Something about tenfold. That's really interesting. Tenfold. And so you need to embrace this uncomfortable change. If you're going through some very dark moments right now, it's because our internal does in fact mirror the external. And it's because on some subconscious level with this card, and even with the High Priestess, there's a lot about the subconscious going on here, pile 2. There's a lot about the subconscious. I don't know why I just got this feeling in my nose. I don't know if you guys have ever gotten water up your nose. It's really weird that I just got that feeling. That's very strange. I don't know why I got that feeling. I don't know if that's going to be relevant for someone out there. But it's very uncomfortable. Anyway, so now we have the High Priestess, right? This is basically advice, something to keep an eye out for. What is your intuition telling you? And I think your intuition has already been leading you in the right direction, but likely you guys are self-doubters. You doubt if you're on the right path. You get stuck in your head and you're like, no, that can't be it. And then you're like, but when I'm in alignment, it makes sense. And then you're like, but no, it just doesn't make sense. And it's not about making sense, it's about what feels right to you, pile 2. You're a highly spiritual pile. Some of you may have had a Christian upbringing, a Christian background. I mean, I just can't help but notice this cross here. And I'm being guided to say that maybe if you did have a Christian background and you're no longer associated with Christianity, a lot of what Christianity taught you, and that isn't to say Christianity by itself is a bad thing. It's not. It's about man-made structure, right? Man-made structures are imperfect by nature because man is not perfect. And so the teachings of God through the Bible are not a reflection of the true God, of the true essence of spirit. It's actually something that has been twisted over time to suit the needs of man. And there is truth in biblical texts, scriptures, but it's not all it's cut out to be because it was written by men who were imperfect by nature. And not everybody was able to achieve this sense of ascended master, right? For example, Jesus Christ being an ascended master, and Siddhartha Gautama, who is the Buddha, right? They ascended. They became ascended masters. They were they were men who had achieved godlike status by truly understanding the divine and looking upon all people as equal and the same, because they understood that we were all one, right? And so some of these belief systems may have been rooted in certain patterns, certain ideas that your family or loved ones or friends, especially in childhood, may have taught you. So there's a lot of subconscious stuff going on here, pile 2. A lot of subconscious thoughts. And this is coming to surface with the Phoenix, and you're going to be reborn. You're going to be reborn. You're going to start casting away this old shell. These old paradigms no longer fit you, and you're stepping into this place of absolute wisdom and understanding that you're this beautiful peacock, metaphorically speaking, of course, letting it all shine, let it all hang out, and just embracing who you are as this beautiful divine child of light. Alrighty, pile 2. If you felt this resonated with you in any sort of way, please feel free to leave a comment down below to let me know. I always love hearing about your guys' experiences, what it is that you feel, what resonated, what didn't, how did the message correspond to you. And as always, if you enjoyed this content, please do hit that like and subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and end the reading here, and I'm sending you so much love and so much light. Take care. Alrighty, hello and welcome, pile 3. If you chose this lovely rose quartz obelisk, this is going to be your reading. Got my letters all mixed up there, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the reading. So, messages from Spirit as to how you can increase your connection with the divine. First card out, we have Koala Spirit. Spirit has a plan. We have, from the Wild Unknown Tarot here, we have the Four of Pentacles. Very interesting. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Well, would you look at that? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy here. We have Two of Wands. We have the Three of Wands. Look at that, so beautiful. Oh my goodness, pile 3. We have the Lamb. We have the Lion. Oh my goodness, this is powerful energy, pile 3. We have the Tiger. And finally, we have the Nine of Pentacles from the Murder of Crows Tarot. So this is basically a card saying what you need to keep an eye out for in order to help connect more with the divine. Just taking a moment to tap in here. Alrighty, pile 3. So I just had to take a moment there to kind of tap into this message. This is such beautiful energy. I'm just like, this pile before I even started reading gave me such a sense of deep inner peace, and it was a very beautiful feeling that I experienced. And just looking at the cards again, I couldn't help but be filled with the sense of deep beauty and peace, pile 3. You are healers by nature. You're these beautiful, benevolent souls. There's just something so beautiful about you. You draw people in, pile 3. There's something about you that is so deeply attractive because of the light that you carry within. And I think I'm starting to understand now why some of these messages are coming through. Now, let's go ahead and get started. So first card out, of course, is the Koala Spirit. Spirit has a plan. So if you've been feeling a little bit confused right now as to why things have been a little bit quiet from the divine realm, maybe some of you are already very attuned with them, but they've been like maybe hiding information from you or not really telling you what's going on. It's because you're in this place where this is exactly where you need to be. And what's really interesting about this Four of Pentacles, usually the Four of Pentacles speaks of like restriction, holding back, conservative, being conservative. Maybe some of you grew up in a conservative household, but I don't necessarily get that feeling of conservation and like being closed off with this Four of Pentacles. What I'm actually seeing here is I'm seeing all of these, it's kind of like wheels turning. What you're not seeing, pile 3, is that Spirit has a plan, and this is, you see how, so the Pentacles speak of time, and they speak of physical things, right? And I'm seeing these strings, I'm envisioning, when I see this card, I see like the wheels turning. It's like I can see the strings moving, kind of like, I'm not sure if you know, like with the bicycle chain, when you see bicycle chains moving, that's kind of what I'm seeing here, and these pentacles are turning. And what you're not seeing here is that these strings I'm seeing as the divine moving things around in the etheric, and it's actually impacting your environment, your current environment. So if things have been stagnant for some time, maybe that's what this Four of Pentacles is about. It's because there's something going on in the ethereal plane that you're not seeing. Now, I'm being drawn by all the rainbow colors here, so some of you may be members of the LGBT community, which is absolutely beautiful here because your purpose may have something to do with that. You know, loving yourself, being more accepting of yourself, and teaching other people how to be more loving and accepting of people of all different genders, identities. You are beautiful souls because you have a deep knowing that the divine is love, and you understand why accepting people as they are is so incredibly important. I'm getting that very deeply here, and I want you guys to notice, you know, the lamb here has all these rainbow colors. I can't help but see, but the rainbow flag here in the background, I can't, and of course, I mean, this is going to sound kind of funny, but I mean, I can't help but notice these two wands kind of want to touch, if that makes sense, and wands can sometimes are very phallic in nature, if you catch my drift. But we also have these this rainbow here emanating from the center of that pentacle, and then here in the Three of Wands, once again, we have all of these beautiful rainbow colors. So there's something here, I don't know, this is probably for LGBT people. I'm not saying that all of you are LGBT people, maybe some of you also are, you could be straight, heterosexual, and you're an ally to LGBT people, which puts you in a place of power, because especially being straight, you can help people who are going through difficulties in the LGBT community. There's something strong, that message is coming through very strongly, interestingly enough. But I said you guys are very magnetic, right? And you're actually attracting a lot of very beautiful things into your life now, pile 3, and you're likely not seeing it because of this Four of Pentacles. As I was saying, the wheels are turning, and I can't help but notice. So at first, when I was looking at this, I was like, that's 9 pentacles. I didn't see the 10th pentacle. And interestingly enough, the 10th pentacle is within the first pentacle in the center. I don't know if you guys can see that. I hadn't noticed that initially. I was like, why is there only 9 pentacles here? And there's something about your inner being. There's like this inner being, you're drawing, I'm getting this sense of drawing things in. It's like I'm getting like the sense of the butterfly effect. There's something very powerful about you, pile 3, but in a very beautiful, mellow kind of way. It's like you're a ripple in the pond, and your touch, your presence in people's lives cause these rippling waves in their lives that help break away old ways of being or understanding things. because pentacles are very firm in nature, right? They're very grounded, and so there's this sense of, I can't, I don't know if you guys see the ripples that I'm talking about. Like you're a drop in the cosmic pond, if that even makes any sense. I don't know where that came from, but there's this sense of like you dropping into this pond in a very peaceful way, and then you send these like shock waves, these like rippling effects in people's lives, right? And so some of you may not understand just how powerful you are in this way. You just have this beautiful, humble energy around you. And maybe you've even been questioning, like, am I loved? I don't know why I'm getting that for some of you. Am I loved by God? Does God love me? Does the divine love me? Does spirit love me? And yes, of course the divine loves you. Maybe there's a need for a perspective shift here, pile 3. And so now we have the Two of Wands here, right? As I was saying, this LGBT energy is coming through very strongly for me in this particular card. But there's a sense of like, what's really cool here is like this, from the 2 to the 3 happens here. From the 2 to the 3 of Wands. There's a transition you're going through here. Maybe some of you are trans and are actually transitioning right now. I don't know where, maybe that's the case. Maybe some of you are transgender and you're going through a transitioning process. And everything's, if you're wondering if everything's going to be okay, yeah, I see here, yes. And you're going to feel much more in your skin and very comfortable with yourself in the years to come as a result of this, for whoever that message is for. But there's this beautiful sense of like, things are moving, and you're not even seeing them, right? In your day-to-day life, in just your day-to-day actions, you're creating the space. And it's really cool because I'm seeing here how the rainbow is outside of the Two of Wands. And if you notice here in the Three of Wands, now it's self-contained. There's a self-contained experience. And I'm seeing you, it's almost like a portal. And what's really cool here is that, do you see the correspondence here of the portal? Like this, I know it's not exactly the same, but there's like a portal there. It's like you're walking through this portal here. You're this gentle being. You're this beautiful, gentle being. There's just this sense of you being, I just get so much peace and like gentleness from you, pile 3. You're this beautiful, innocent creature. You're like a blessing to the world. Some of you may really love animals too. That might be another thing about you. You have this sweet innocence about you. Some of you may be a vegetarian or vegan because, you truly love animals. You see animals through the eyes, like this lamb. You look at how sweet that lamb looks, very cute, very innocent. So some of you may just truly love creatures. And what's really beautiful about this is now we're transitioning from this beautiful, sweet energy to your absolute true inner potential. And I think here, pile 3, what you need to understand and why your connection with the divine may not have been as deep as you would like it to be, it's because you need to learn your personal power. Some of you may be people pleasers. Be mindful of this with the lamb. I don't know why I'm getting that. Some of you may be people pleasers. Maybe you guys, bend over backwards for people. And what the divine is telling you is if you are doing this, if you're bending over for other people, it's time to reclaim your personal power. These people, not everybody is entitled to your energy, pile 3. I know you're these beautiful, sweet souls and you want to help people, but not everybody is entitled to your energy. That doesn't mean you can't love them from a distance. That doesn't mean you can help them out on occasion, but that doesn't mean you have to be there for them every single moment. If these people love to emotionally dump on you, so to speak, like you're this counselor, you're this guide, and people are always coming to you for advice because you have that beautiful just way of seeing life and you give sound advice. This is about you understanding that some people just need to learn on their own. You can't always be there for everyone, And so it's time to step into your power here. Be proud of who you are. This is being proud of who you are. If some of you are struggling with your sexual identity or your gender identity, be confident. What feels right to you, pile 3? What feels right? And step into the energy of this lion. Embrace yourself. Be proud of who you are and understand that you're this beautiful being that is a blessing to this world. This is just beautiful. And now we come into this very interesting tiger energy. This tiger energy seems almost... See, the lion comes off as like very confident but from a serene place. And I think pile 3, some of you may be dealing with some sort of internal darkness. I don't know why I'm getting kind of a dark energy here with the tiger here. Maybe some of you are surrounded by people who are of a darker nature, almost predatory in nature. Maybe, I don't know why I'm getting this from this tiger, because usually it doesn't come through this way, but maybe there are narcissistic people around you that you deal with, and you're not recognizing that they're actually this predatory energy hiding things from you, and that they're actually, in a sense, around you. Now, your intuition will tell you if this is true, so, don't take this, take this with a grain of salt, essentially, for those of you who this message, that last part, isn't resonating with you. Just be mindful for those you who are feeling drawn to that particular message. Be mindful of the people that you invest energy into, because not everybody has their highest intentions. I'm just seeing how, I'm getting the sense of like, some people like to take your energy because you have this beauty to you. They're like energy vampires, and they could be sucking the energy out of you, and you need to recognize that sometimes you need to set healthy boundaries, right? Remember how I was saying, set healthy boundaries. Remember how I was saying how the energy is free-flowing in the Two of Wands, and then it's self-contained in the Three of Wands, right? I'm getting the sense here of like healthy boundaries. Look, this is your energy right now, Two of Wands, right? It's expansive, it's growing, and that's beautiful. But some people may come in to try and take that from you because they sense this beautiful. You like draw these people in. You're very hypnotic. You're an empath, right? And so this is about, I'm just sensing, creating that healthy boundary and containing your energy within yourself. That energy is yours to keep. You can choose who it is that you give it to, and you shouldn't feel bad when you don't feel like you should give it to somebody, right? Especially if they take advantage of you or simply do not appreciate you for who you are. It's important to recognize that it's important to block these energies and stand in your power here. I'm getting the sense to read out of the book for the tiger. I didn't do this for the other piles, but I don't know why I'm getting the sense to read from it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for you guys. Yeah, okay. So it says here, lunar force, ease in darkness, feminine energy. The tiger hunts at night, at one with the silence, fearing nothing. This card reminds us to take in the wild darkness, to allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour, and the tiger takes advantage of these boons. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in the potent calm. There is nothing to fear in this stillness except the awakening of your own power. When in balance, passionate, strong, sensual. When out of balance, overstimulated. To bring into balance, practice trataka or candle gazing. That's a really interesting message. So it's really interesting here because I'm... Okay, so some of you may be, as I said, for those that this is resonating with, part of the LGBT community, and there's something about the feminine energy here that could likely be, in a sense, corrupted by society and the way people view you, right? And then we have the Nine of Pentacles here as to what you should look out for. This card speaks of owning your stuff. It talks about creating a walled garden and also appreciating and loving yourself for who you are, because you have everything that you need within yourself. So there's this energy here. This is feminine energy. Some of you may struggle with a little bit of anxiety here. This could be anxiety because of the darkness, because with utmost beauty and this light, you also have these very dark energies inside of you, and there's a need for you to understand that these dark energies within you are part of your being. And so it's understanding how to balance these out and understand that you're in this sense of duplicity. There's a duality to you, and it's about coming into balance with that. Some of you, as I said, I don't know why sexuality is here. Some of you may be struggling with your sexuality, and Spirit has a plan regarding this. If you feel afraid of delving into and exploring yourself, it's okay for you to do it. Don't get stuck in devil energy about it. Don't be all like don't allow the physical aspects of pleasure to like draw you in. But it's okay for you to explore yourself in a sexual manner. It's a very sacred practice. A lot of people have lost how sacred sexuality is, and it's about embracing who you are as a sexual being. I'm getting that very strongly, especially for those of you who are in the feminine energy. If you happen to be transitioning from male to female. There may be fears revolving that, and for those of you who are gay men as well, who struggle with your femininity, that could be something that needs to be taken a look at, because it's all part of the divine plan. There's a reason why you are who you are. I don't know why this message is coming through very strongly. I hope I'm not like taking this reading in a very weird direction, because this is super specific. Anyway, feel free to leave a comment down below to let me know what this is about, if I'm hitting it on the mark or not. But this is a very interesting reading. This is one of the most interesting readings that I've ever done. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and end the reading here. I hope this was a help to you guys in some way, shape, or form. If you did enjoy this reading, please do hit that like and subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. And as always, I am sending you so much love and so much light. Take care.